everyone. Yes, welcome back to the CUPPA CHAT series. And once again, I've got a fantastic new guest for you all. It is the one and only Lauren. Hello, Lauren.
Hello.
I was like, hello, is she there? Are you all right? How are you, Lauren? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. I'm all good.
Good.
How are you?
Oh, I'm absolutely fantastic. I am enjoying lockdown 0.5,000 enormously. I really am. Well, thank you for joining us today, and we're really excited to have you with us, because what we're trying to do with the series is get people from all different backgrounds that are working in the theatre arts, and yours is actually one of the most popular that we've had for questions coming in, actually, which is quite nice. People obviously like the backstage and the stage management sort of stuff. So we'll be talking to you a little bit later on about that. But before we start any interview, it is our CUPPA CHAT series. I need to know, have you got a cup of drink in front of you? And what have you got?
I do. I have a cup of tea, my favourite drink.
A cup
Gets
of
me
tea.
through
And
the
do you have
day.
any sugar?
I do. I have one small sugar.
One small. You're very, very good then. That's all right. And do you
Yes.
have one at the start and the end of the day, did you say?
I do. I start the day with a cup of tea and I end the day with a cup of tea, with one in between.
You know, that's quite good. That's quite good. I had you down as a coffee person, so that's a nice surprise, that is, having a cup of tea. I've decided to go with milkshake today, and in my Crash Bandicoot Aku cup.
Yes,
I brought the best out for you today, you see.
Brilliant. I love it. That's great.
So before we get going, I've also been creating an invention for every single guest that we have here on the CUPPA CHAT. And Lauren, you are no different today. I thought, because not many people know this, actually I started as a stage manager professionally when I did my work, and then went into the acting and the teaching side of it and the directing. So I know exactly how it feels for you. And I've made you something that I think you're going to want for the rest of your life. This is going to change your career from this point onwards. I'm going to put it on because it requires me to wear this one, I think. And look, this is the stage manager's thingamabob thing. Okay, this is what we're officially calling it. Let me just get flashing towards the camera. There we go. So this is the stage manager thingamabob. Now, obviously, you always need a light backstage because you're always working in the dark. So I've got your light for you to start with. I've also, because I know it does get a little bit hungry, so I've pegged on lots of different things that might get you through the day. So there's some crisps and there's a cup of soup. I've got a pen as well, because a stage manager always needs a pen. And I've also got, where's it gone? I've got a plaster here as well on the side somewhere. Where's it gone? The plaster's gone, but I've got a plaster.
There you go, you're close, you're near it. It's there. I can
see it. Is it there? Yeah, oh, there it is. Yeah, look, I've got a plaster because the stage manager always needs a plaster. And then I've also attached, because I find that people always lose the stage manager. I've attached this long piece of ribbon that you could attach to the actor's arms. And then if you lose the actors or the actors lose you, we can just tug on each other with the rope. I mean, this is what you want, isn't it? This is going to change your career.
I think that is going to be revolutionary for us stage managers. I think I'm going to order one right now, actually.
Look, I mean, Lauren, for saying thank you for coming and doing this today. You don't need to order anything. I'll send this in the post for you, if that's all right.
Oh, you know, I feel honoured to have the first of its kind.
I know. Don't tell anyone else, though, because they might get jealous and will want one as well. So, yeah, just keep it between us.
They'll all be jealous when I start wearing it. Yeah,
they will. They will be all jealous when you're backstage in your shows, and they'll be like, "Where'd you get one of those?" And you'll be like, "Love, it's from my best friend Gary, and you're not going to get one either." I know. There you go. Right, so I'll send that to you in the post. I think it's enough messing around now, though. We better get on with some questions, because I say we've had lots and lots of questions come in for you today, and we'll get through as many as we can. So let's get on with it, shall we? We've got 15 minutes, so let's start the clock. Let's start with this one, which has come up a couple of times with the question. So we've just asked it as one general one. It says, can you ask Lauren about how she got into the industry? Was it with an education Pacific route, or did you do more of a learn as you go along route?
Okay, so I actually started in theatre when I was about 4 years old, but I started on stage, singing, dancing, acting, everything you can think of. And then when I got to 18, I decided, you know, do I want to pursue that route, or do I want to do something else with maybe stage management? I decided to apply for one course and one course only, and that was at the Birmingham School of Acting, which was the stage management degree. So I studied 3 years of stage management at the Birmingham School of Acting, which is now known as the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. It's changed names.
Yeah.
In that course, you learn everything. You learn how to be an assistant stage manager, deputy stage manager, stage manager. You learn set, props, costume, lighting, sound. You touch a little bit on radio, TV, film, everything. But meanwhile, while I was studying, I also went and got jobs in the theatres around Birmingham. So I worked at the Birmingham Hippodrome, the Alexander Theatre, the Repertoire Theatre, everything, to get the practical and, you know, sort of real life knowledge as well as the studying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did study, but I also.
Yeah, go on, keep going.
So yeah, I studied, but alongside that, also worked inside the theatres, getting to know people as you go.
Yeah, I think that's really important, and that's actually something that's coming up quite a lot with this series so far that we've been recording, that people, I think that in our industry that you go and do a bit of training and all of a sudden you've got all your work and you've done it all. There is so much more that goes on behind the scenes. Like you say, you do go and work at other theatres, you do go and get experiences, and it's really good to hear people like you that are doing that as well. Is there many, as a side question, is there many places that do the stage management courses, or was Birmingham just the one for you? Because I remember when I started looking into it, as a side from acting, there wasn't that many places to choose from at that time. Is it a bit better now?
Yeah, I think there are more now. I know that East 15 is actually a place where I applied to do performing arts, but they also do a stage management course. I think a lot of the performing arts universities now are doing stage management as well. Trying to think of the schools, but
well, there's just loads.
I can't think of from the top of my head, but I know that there's quite a few in London. There's lots of different types. There's production management courses, there's film and TV studies, there's, you know, stage management studies. So there's seems to be more and more going on.
Yeah, and I think that's quite good nowadays, because to say, when I looked at it, there wasn't anything. So it's nice that the jobs that everyone kind of forgets about, and I'm not putting down your job at all, Lauren, because I think you're fantastic, and the stage managers in general are fantastic, but people always forget about them, don't they? So it's nice that now you've got specific courses that can teach those sort of things, which is brilliant. And
it's great. And there's also there's one-off courses. So if you wanted to go down the route of lighting, but you didn't necessarily want to do a 3-year degree, there are lots of courses online that you can do, and apprenticeships and all that sort of stuff, where you can learn practically, you know, on the job as well. So there's loads of ways of getting into it, as well as studying, that isn't a 3-year course.
Well, carrying on from that then, so I think someone, I know actually it was someone, carried on the same question, which I split into two, and they asked how, if people have done different routes, like you've just said, so you obviously went where you did, and someone else you were working with maybe went to uni or whatever, how does that differ in the job, and how does it affect, does everyone sort of end up on the same route, or does it feel like, oh, you're taught that way, so that makes a difference? I suppose in a way people are asking, is there a best route to do this, or does it matter which way you go as long as you end up at the goal in the end?
Yeah, so I don't think there is one way of doing it. For me specifically, I think if I hadn't have done the course, because I went from, you know, so many years of being on stage, if I hadn't have done the course, then I don't think I would be where I am today. But it wasn't just the course that helped me get there. The course gives you the sort of the core thing that you need. You know, it teaches you how to do knots, and it teaches you how to, you know, that sort of straight route of how to do stage management and how things need to be done. But it's up to you then how you interpret and how you work, because you also bend how you work with the people around you. So they might like how you did that on that show, but they might not like it on that show. So you have to be adaptable to each performance. So I think it doesn't matter if you've studied or if you haven't. I think it depends on how hard you work, and if you want it and you're willing to, you know, be adaptable and you're willing to work hard for it, then your end goal, you will get there. You know, I hadn't done any touring before what I'm doing now, and I think because I worked hard to get to where I am now, I wanted to go for the big league, so I went straight there. But some people, it takes people longer. Some people, it can be about who you know, so they will then help you get into the, you know, the route you want to go down by giving you the jobs you need to get there. Some people have done the studying.
Yeah, and that's the same in any sort of field, isn't it? In theatre, I suppose if you're a technician, or especially if you're a performer, sometimes it's who you know, as you say, and sometimes you take years to get to where you want to, but it depends how much you want it. You know, it's it can be anything. Okay, let's move on to another question now then. Because we've done the deep stuff as such about all the parts. So let's talk about now, what is the best part, someone said, about being a stage manager?
Gosh, see, it's a hard question to answer, that is, because there's so many good things. I could talk for hours about all the good things. I think for me, no show is the same. You know, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing the same production. Every single show, every single performance is different. So I always start the show with that, you know, beginning nerves, that, oh, here we go, it's about to start. You know, I hope this show goes well. I hope that, you know, we get it done today and there's no show stops. And I just hope that, you know, so, you know, I've been doing this show for months, and yet I'm still stood there going, oh, okay, we can do this. And I just think that, you know, you're working with the same people. It's all so different and it changes every time and it never gets boring for me. So I think, you know, I just love that about it.
Yeah, so it's the excitement, isn't it? And actually it shows that you care as well, that you've still got those sort of little nerves as such, and you're like, yes, we're going to do this, and it's nice, I think, when you get that. Which then can lead on to this question that came from someone else. Is it, so a stage manager job, is it a stressful or calm job? We normally see people running around backstage, someone said. So is it stressful? Because to be honest, I've worked with lots of stage managers and they are always running around, to be fair.
It's true. It's true. So yes, it can be stressful. Obviously there's a lot going on. If you're a stage manager, then you've got a lot of people to talk to. You could be needed over there 1 minute, and then in 30 seconds you're needed over there for something else. But it all depends on how you deal with stressful situations. I think in this industry, you need to be, as stage manager or assistant stage manager or deputy, you need to be able to deal with stressful situations, which in turn will make you less stressed. One of my tutors always used to say that, think of yourself as a swan. And the best way to do that is, swans are always sort of flapping inside and not in control inside, but on the outside they're calm, collected. And, you know, so whether you're stressed inside, try not to show it, because then you'll stress everybody else out around you. And your job is to make sure things go smoothly and, you know, with ease. And even if you're, you know, losing it inside, you've got to be able to cope with high pressure and stressful situations.
I think
it can be a bit of both.
I think that's really important, actually, that you are, especially as, I'll put the acting hat on for a second, and when I'm like, oh my goodness, Lauren, I need something, there's a prop not here or whatever, you know, if I've come to you, or something's not right, and you're just like as an actor, you're like, blah, 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 and you just need to be like, and actually it then calms the actors down as well, which is positive. I'm just going to interject with a question for maybe some of our viewers who don't know about stage management. What are the key things that a stage manager does? Because we go on about ASMs, we go on about SMs. What actually is your job? Let's really push it back. What do you do?
Yeah. Okay. So my current role at the moment is assistant stage manager. So the assistant stage manager is the one who looks after the props backstage and makes sure that everything is running well sort of backstage. So the stage manager is, you've got assistant stage manager, then you've got the deputy, and then you've got the stage manager. The stage manager is the one who makes sure that everything ties together and ensures the health and safety of the show.
Yeah.
Is there backstage if anything was to go wrong. It's the stage manager that would work with all of the other departments and the deputy stage manager to fix the problem. And if there has to be a show stop, usually it's the stage manager that would then declare the show stop, and then we'll work with the DSM to get it back to a right point quickly while the problem's being fixed. The deputy stage manager is the one with the big book that is the show's Bible. It's the one that has all of the lights, sound, automation, set moves, everything that you can think of, flies inside this one Bible, and they are calling the show. So they'll make sure everything happens smoothly, you know, does the announcements, make sure everyone is on stage on time. And so, yeah, the assistant stage manager is there looking after the prop. So I'm stage right ASM at the moment on this particular job. I have been stage manager and company manager on other jobs. So it just depends on what I'm doing. But yeah, they all vary, but they all work together.
They're
so
all
without
a team
one
together.
or the other, you can't.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, because I think we talk about stage managers and maybe people don't understand what really they do as such. So that's really beneficial.
They are all very different roles.
Yeah. I think you can't just have someone doing, well, we say you can't, but sometimes
you say you can't.
I say Laura has to, bless them, do about 1,000 jobs sometimes.
I have done roles.
Yeah,
the same where I've been deputy stage manager, company manager, and I have also done, you know, assistant stage manager roles at the same time.
Yeah.
So you know, it depends on the
silly,
scale.
really. It's silly, isn't it? Really, because it is 6 people's jobs or whatever. So. Let's do another question. What has been the hardest show you have worked on so far, and why? Someone asks.
I'd have to say it would be one of the operas, some of the operas that I've worked on in my time, because when I stopped doing my singing lessons and I stopped doing my instruments, I then stopped reading music because at the time I didn't really need it, and believe it or not, it's really hard to pick up once you're not doing it anymore, and it's easy to forget. So anyone who wants to learn music, and anyone who is doing music, and anyone who wants to become a deputy stage manager in the future, learn it now. I mean, it's easy to you know, just keep doing it, don't let music go. So I started doing opera because I wanted to reteach myself how to do music, but I threw myself right in the deep end. You're trying to learn pieces of music from Verdi or Mozart and, you know, Wagner. They were the hardest because I was deputy stage manager trying to call a show with this very complex music. I'd say that those were my hardest. And actually, they were enjoyable but hard.
I'm sure they were enjoyable, but actually when, you know, someone who hasn't done it for such a long time, because I've gone down the acting route, you actually forget that it's not all just lyrics, you know, or words in the book for the ASM to be reading. You actually have got all the songs, and especially, as you say, an opera that maybe sometimes you don't know what they're saying. You're like, oh, I must follow the music or whatever, you know. It's that's really interesting. Actually, I hadn't really thought about that. So if you do want to do something like this and you have done music, carry on learning it, because it could come in handy one day as well. Here's
Yeah,
one
it's the
that
same with dance as
go
well.
on. No, go on with dance.
If you wanted to go down the dance route and you wanted to work on productions that, you know, like the Royal Birmingham Ballet, if you wanted to become, you know, someone who works with them, predominantly it is music based. So you need to be able to, you know, read music. If you wanted to be a deputy stage manager for a dance company, it's, you know, it's good to have
those skills, and at least have the knowledge of music and so on. I have to ask you this question that was sent in to us, because I'd like to see what it's like from the other point of view. Have you ever had to deal with any bossy actors as a stage manager? Now, be careful what you're saying here.
Yes. Oh, yes. I have dealt with some divas in my time.
We obviously won't name any names, but you know,
we won't name any names.
No.
There are lots of reasons. There are lots of reasons why, you know, an actor can become, I'll say a diva rather than bossy, because I wouldn't say it was bossy, because I think if an actor was bossy, they wouldn't get very far with the stage management team. But there are lots of reasons why some actors choose to be. Some are genuinely just stressed about that particular show, and they will come and apologize to you afterwards, and it will be water under the bridge and it'll be absolutely fine. Sometimes it's in the moment, you know, you're trying to get on stage and your bow tie is not quite on correct, you're like, come on, you know, because they'll have dressers and the dresser can't do it and the actor can't do it, so they all get, you know, a bit diva-ish. And some actors have earned their right to be a slight diva, you know. If you haven't got all 4 coins on the table, well, why haven't I got all four coins on my table, you know? You've been doing it a long time and you expect it to be there. But what I will say is everyone is as important as each other, whether you're an actor, whether you're backstage, whether, it doesn't matter what role you're doing, everyone's important. So you know, without one or the other, you don't have a show. So, you know, you've just got to earn, you learn to respect each other. And it's, you know, it's good to know when someone's being a diva and when it's gone too far. You know, it's you know, knowing the balance.
I totally agree with that, and I'm glad that you said it. I keep saying this with people that are saying stuff in this series, but that actually is one of the most important things as a director, as an actor, that everyone is as important with the show than the star of the musical or the play. The technician is, the cleaner is, the actors are, they're all the same. And you summed it up well just then, so thank you for that. I've got a special guest coming now. This is the part of the show where I don't really like her doing it, if I'm completely honest, but she's twisted my arm because she's a massive fan of yours. Here's Laura.
Hey, be happy.
What do you mean be happy?
I am your stage manager.
It's supposed to be my interview, and you keep coming in and taking over all the time.
But I am your company stage manager.
I'll get up with it.
Okay, so over our time, there's been a few stage blunders that have happened that, from an actor, hopefully they won't realise. But as a stage manager, I
thought you meant me. I was like, I haven't done any, but I'm practically perfect in every way on stage.
Is there anything that has majorly gone wrong in any of your shows that you've stage managed?
Yes, is the honest answer. There are some shows that don't go as you plan. I do have one example, which is probably one of my best, which on this particular show was a pantomime, and I was, you know, the company manager, the stage manager, the deputy stage, but I was calling the show, and I had 2 flymen, one on each side of the stage. This side of the stage left, I had one with communication comms. On the other side of the stage, they decided they didn't want to have communication comms, which is the headset where you talk to everybody. I had pushed to have this communication headset, but it didn't happen. So during this one particular show, as the cloth was, it was a cut cloth, so it was sort of a archway like this, and it was coming on, it was this really big moment in Robin Hood, and it was building, and it was you know, supposed to be the end of Act 1, and it was just supposed to be the big moment. And this cloth came in and it got hooked on something in the air. And so it started coming in like this.
No.
Which also revealed all of the side pieces coming in. So you could see that it wasn't, you know, this beautiful, serene piece. So it started coming in like this. And anyone who has built a set or knows that cloths have metal poles on the bottom of them to keep them nice and flat. As this cloth was coming in like this, I'm stood and I turned my head like this, and there was a pole right here that has been slipping out of this cloth.
No.
Meanwhile, I have no communication with that flyman who is not aware that the cloth is coming in. I'm flashing my light at him, going, like, stop the cloth, stop the cloth. What's going to happen? So I've got this pole like this, and I'm pulling, because I've got actors here. I've got to protect the actors. So I'm holding onto this pole whilst calling the rest of the production, because I've got to carry on, because there's no way it's going to stop. So I'm carrying on, and I'm holding this pole like this. And eventually it comes out. So the cloth swings this way.
Oh gosh.
Wow,
that has to be one of my most stressful.
That is a great story. I started laughing during this because I did a show where the cloth came in too early, and you were saying about the pole at the bottom, and I shouldn't laugh because they could have actually got really hurt, but someone literally got bumped on the head with one of the cloths coming in because they weren't standing in the right place, because the stage manager told them not to, and they didn't do it. So they were.
Of the story.
It does work both ways, you see.
Yes, it does, Lauren.
It's there on both parts, but if we stood in the right place.
Yeah, well, thank you, Laura, for doing that question.
Thank you, Laura.
We'll see you later. Right, we've got time for just a couple more questions before we have to finish. So let's do some quick fire ones. You started talking about this a little bit, so this might be a simple answer. Do stage managers have to help with putting up and taking down the set? Someone's asked.
It depends on the scale of the show. If you're a smaller scale production, so the recent one that I did, Jack and the Beanstalk, I was stage manager, and I did help put the set up because it was a small company. There was only so many people, obviously, working with COVID restrictions at the moment. You can only have so many people. So I did. But on my current show, I don't have to. They've got, it's larger scale. They've got people that come in and do it specifically. So it completely depends on the scale of production. But yes, there are times when you will help.
Yeah. So you could be asked to do and join in and build set if you're needed, which is good then if you can say yes, because you might get booked again, obviously, another time. Someone's asked, did you always want to be a stage manager? And obviously we're talking about that you started as an actor, obviously, when you were younger. Or did you want to do something else first, they said?
Yeah, so I started as an actor first, dancer and singer. I did that all the way up until I basically decided one day that that's what I wasn't going to do. So I did just one day decide that I'm going to go down the stage management route, in the hope that I would be able to keep my training as an actor on the side, but there's no chance, too busy. So yeah, I think I probably developed into stage management because I transitioned into that as I went on.
Yeah, and let's have one final question is what is the best part of being a professional stage manager? Go on, sell us, give us the 30-second sale pitch for anyone who's thinking about it.
Oh gosh, you get to meet so many different people, you get to go to so many different places, you get to work with all these incredible teams and actors and work on so many different shows. Like I said before, that no show is the same. You get it's just brilliant. It's so hard to pinpoint certain things, but I just love it, and I just love everything about it. Oh, that is so that's so lovely to hear, you being so happy with your job still as well. And I have to admit that I actually think the stage managers and that team that we've spoken about are some of my favorite people that I work with when I'm in shows and things myself, because
as you say, everyone's just always so helpful, always trying to be really kind. And I just seem to get on with you guys quite a lot. So thank you for being stars of people that don't realise you're there, but hopefully now they've watched this, they realise you're there. So well done from all of us, because you're doing a fantastic job. That's well, thank you for doing our questions today. I'm sorry we didn't get to ask all of your questions that you were sent in, but hopefully Lauren speaking with us today has helped you guys a little bit. We finish every Cuppa Chat with a little game though, Lauren. Okay, we've been asking all of our guests to join in with a game, and we've actually got a leaderboard going on as well at the moment. Now we've got currently a lovely lady from the Mousetrap called Victoria. She's in the lead with 26 points at the minute, and then we've got joint second place at the moment with our lovely Prince William, as we've called him now here on the channel, and our dog trainer Evie, who was in the last episode. They're currently in second place with 15 points each. So we're going to see now if you can get more points by naming as many drinks as you possibly can within 30 seconds. And we find out a lot about you as a person when we do this game, because we know what type of drinks you all like to drink then. So we're going to have 30 seconds on the clock, and we're going to ask you to name as many drinks as you can within that time. Okay? 3, 2, 1, go!
Tea, coffee, hot chocolate, Coke, lemonade, Fanta, smoothie, gin and tonic, lager, oh gosh, cherryade, blueberryade, Powerade, Lucasade. What else rhymes with aid? Oh gosh, orange juice, apple juice, pineapple juice.
Oh, I'll give you pineapple juice right at the end. Oh, that weren't bad. You know what? We started going down the alcohol route, and then the stage manager came out within you, I think, and it all went to like energy drinks. It was like Powerade. Yep. We're going to go with it now. It was... Well, I tell you what, you've not done bad at all. Okay, you've done pretty well, actually. You unfortunately haven't beaten our lovely Victoria in first place with 26 points, but I can tell you that is quite a lot, isn't it? She was just on fire.
Brilliant.
You, however, did get 16 points. You're in second place.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're getting the silver medal at the minute. That means that you could win 10,000 GLJ points that you could spend in no shops ever, but you could win 10,000 if you stay in second place. So well done.
Buy another one of those
to the list and say that you've got 16 points, and we'll see if anyone else obviously can beat your score, or you're going to stay in second place as well. Oh, thank you so much, Lauren, for speaking to us today. It's been absolutely fantastic. And
thank you.
Really interesting listening to all the questions and answers, obviously, that you've been you've taken your time answering today. What we'll do is when we do the video, if anyone's got social medias or whatever, if you want to follow Lauren, we can share all those bits with you on there, and you maybe be able to keep an eye on what shows she's doing. So thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll all be back in live theatre again very soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Fingers crossed. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.